Welcome, race fans, to Watermelons and Woodchips, presented by Central Iowa Diesel Performance, and we've made it to episode 10. And for this glorious occasion, we brought our friend Todd Shute in. Josh Reynolds, GM at the Boone Speedway. I'm Cody Malacote. Along their side with us is the Bobcat, Jonathan Logan. Like I said, we have Todd Shute with us, and he made the trek up to the IMCA TV studios here at the Boone Speedway. And Todd, it's awesome that you made it up here with us. I can't believe you agreed to this.
Well, I was a little skeptical at first. I'm not much of a public speaker. I don't make great eye contact with people when I talk. That's one thing my wife told me. Make sure you don't look down the whole time. But no, I appreciate you guys having me up here. And I really was like, why me? But maybe nobody else wanted to do it. I don't know.
To be fair, you were on when we put out our Elmquist Towing Question of the Week. There's quite a few Todd Shutes on there.
Well, also we went with categories, and you have the nicest hair in the pits. Even when you show up to the racetrack, when you pull the helmet off, Todd Shute's always got nice hair. So that was another reason why we wanted to bring you in.
Brian Brown's his hero. So.
Yes.
Do they make custom inserts for the helmets that hold the hair a certain way?
It's funny. It started a while back, the whole hair thing, and I'm just glad I still have hair. My daughter says my forehead is gigantic, so everybody please focus on the size of my forehead. But I don't know. I just whatever the product I use or whatever, it just stays. I'm very conscious about it when I get out of the car. I don't want stuff everywhere, So, but usually when I take the helmet off, it's just right. So I don't know.
That's awesome. I've never had that problem. I'm lucky to have any hair whatsoever. My dad was bald at 18, so I'm lucky to have anything. So.
Well, getting into things, right? Like I said, we are glad you're here. Obviously, we chose you because I feel like you're, a good friend of all of ours, and we've been around you for a long time. And I mean, you got a list of accolades that go along with it. So you're not quite a scrub in that modified, So we do really appreciate you coming up here and kind of just to jump into it, tell everybody how you got into this deal.
Right out of high school, I was working I've always liked racing or thought I would be in racing and wanted to be a race car driver. Parents would always take us to Stewart. I don't have very many memories of Stewart, but a lot of memories of going to the Iowa State Fairgrounds. Mostly, I wasn't watched all the fights. To be honest with you, I wasn't really too concerned with the racing, but there's a lot of good fights down there. Mm-hmm. And then we were huge sprint car fans. Went to Knoxville every Saturday night with we had a neighbor gal that would take my brother and I down there. And then we, once we got old enough to drive, we would go down there and watch the sprint car races ourselves. But going back to the question, I worked at a used car dealership right out of high school, part-time job. I was going to school in DMAC, and it was on the way to DMAC, and Randy Rudolph was selling the Wheeler Dealer magazines, ads in those. I think that's what it was called at the time. I don't really remember, but he was into the dwarf cars, and he's telling me, we got to talking about racing and stuff, and I think I might have been wearing a racing shirt, and maybe that's how it sparked the conversation. I'm not really sure, but he knew of a few people that had. Jim Cooper, I think, is who I bought my first car from, which was an absolute nightmare. But from the day we picked it up to the day, I sold it or scrapped it, I'm not sure. But that's how we got our start. So I guess I need to blame Randy Rudolph.
I have some old videos from Stewart because I started racing in '99, and you would have been in the dwarf car then, right?
Yep. And
the one I have the video, I think I didn't get you guys confused, but you and Cliff Barber had white cars with blue number.
My car had a purple number.
Purple number, yep. Okay. But I do have a video with the 5 upside down in turn 2 at Stewart.
We seen that in a modified this year, but it was a black car.
And the year before.
Yeah. Well, you've taken some rides over the years.
Yeah.
The funny thing about this is I hear that, you traded a car for this mod light and some parts, And the first night you went racing, you borrowed your girlfriend's dad's pickup.
Yep.
And, Troy tells me that he missed your first race. And
he didn't miss it. He just didn't go.
He didn't go. Yeah.
Really?
And he told me, he's like, man, that's one of the things that, I missed his first race, because I called Troy to, clarify some things of some of my knowledges of Todd Shute and what Todd Shute's done in the racing world the last 25 seasons. Sorry, but I was part of not part of it, but I was there when he bought his first modified, and that. So reaching out to Troy, he kind of threw some of that out there, and then it just kind of spiraled into something, and now you guys have been doing this for such a long time and travel all over the place and have pretty good success.
Yeah, I've got the last couple of years I have about a 2-hour range of where my travels will go because I don't want to be in the truck that long because we had traveled extensively in the past, but it just and he's right. I did trade my personal car for a race car. I did have a truck, but it wasn't really capable of pulling a race car. It was I got lost on the way home. I'd never even been to Boone Speedway. I'd never seen a dwarf car race. I'd never seen a stock car modified race that I remember. I didn't know how to get here. This is back, we're talking 20 plus years ago. This is back before MapQuest and cell phone GPS and Google Maps and all this. So never seen the place, never been here. It's kind of a funny story. I went out for hot laps, and I'm thinking I'm Steve Kinzer, Doug Wolfgang. Doug Wolfgang was my idol growing up, but and take the green for hot laps and the car won't run. Well, lo and behold, it's out of gas.
Oh yeah.
That tends to help them run.
A little bit.
So. It was pretty uneventful night. I don't know where we finished, probably like 9th or 10th, something like that. And, not really Doug Wolfgang-ish stuff, but it was a rough start to that. We didn't make it out very much our first year, and it was a very large learning experience, large learning curve. And, of course, you never stop in racing learning. So, it's ever evolving and ever changing. Jonathan can back me up on that, but it's.
I'm going to pick on you about that a little bit.
Yeah, I honestly, not getting off topic here, but I've told people this year. I said I feel like I don't know anything anymore. Like I feel like stuff's changed so much, and how they do things. It's a little easier. I feel like to set your race car up or whatever, but rather than dragging your scales out and doing laying on the creeper underneath your car for 4 hours, but it's changed quite a bit, and I've had to try to adapt to that and learn, and it's going okay.
Yeah.
So
well, you talk about that, and when even when I first started racing, slide jobs aren't what slide jobs are today.
No, they're bombs today. They're not slide jobs.
Right, and there's been times where when I was in a modified and you and I had a couple of just barn burner slider jobs and on restarts and shit down in one here at the Boone Speedway, and I was never, I'll just be honest, I was never really 100% confident whether I was really actually clearing. You know what, because sometimes it just doesn't work out that way, but me growing up, and that was the time that you were into a modified, guys didn't do that.
No.
And it wasn't that they weren't capable or whatever, but it was just a different kind of racing.
And I agree, and me coming from a sprint car, watching sprint cars growing up, that was very common in sprint cars, and now it's just like a given. I don't necessarily condone it, but I don't necessarily. And I'm guilty of it just as much as the next guy. But it can. You've got to have a little trust in the guy you're throwing a slider on, because if he decides I don't like Todd Shute tonight, or he did this to me last week and put a quarter panel on my left front or whatever. You gotta, that's the risk you gotta, risk reward type of thing. So,
well, the etiquette of it, like, I guess from my memory, is usually a guy would have a door on somebody, right? So you'd be getting close to the corner, and a guy would have a door on you, and you knew, okay, he's gonna put it on him. But the guy in second, then it's like his responsibility to not wreck you both, and either drive back underneath you or whatever it's going to be. Today, you see slide jobs from 3 and 4 cars back. Like, they're not even close to them, and they're, like you said, bombs, absolute bombs. And, like, as a driver, how do you process that without just destroying a guy? Like, there's got to be times when you just are like, oh my God, I'm going to send this guy to the damn barn.
It's because we're scared to get black flagged around here.
Well, yeah, we did determine
We don't
that.
know if it's Grant. We don't know if it's going to be Logan. I mean, at Boone, it's really, you have to be careful.
You do.
But 100% agree with you. And it's always on the starts. Mm-hmm. You got a guy that's, if you're running that top or whatever you're doing, everybody tries to, I feel like now is going to the, I'm just going to slide myself type thing. But even then, if the guy on the outside gets a good run, or if you aren't a car or half a car length down further and somebody can get underneath you, it's all about not even hitting them. It's just messing up their momentum. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I think that's where a lot of guys lose their composure. I'm guilty as shit of it. Because I'm thinking, man, which lane do I go, or where, I know what the racetrack's racing like, but it's a restart, so it's different. Mm-hmm. You can almost sometimes slow down to a crab's crawl to hit the grip just a little bit to give you that little bit more of shit coming off the corner, or you got to blow it in there knowing that you're going to blow it past the guy, but hopefully he thinks about what you're doing and he screws up.
Right. Crosses him up a little bit.
Well, just to mess up their rhythm type thing.
Because as a race goes along, the lanes are changing. You got to hope when you do that, you can hit something that the car will hold on to, and you're not sending it to the concession stand. All that stuff. So when a guy throws a good one, and I say good, Tim Ward's one that I see, he generally doesn't line one up unless he's going to clear it and stick. And he's one that everybody messes up, right? Nobody's perfect. But he's one that I see hit him more often than not, I guess. But then I see some other ones, and I'm like, you didn't go to slide job school.
Yeah,
like,
well, and you can see it happening. Like, half a lap before, you're like, you know what this guy's going to do, and you know what the outcome's going to be. And about 85% of the time, that's what
but
happens.
Jimmy says the same thing. And now he was in, whenever I remember, I think it was 06 he started racing modified.
No, it was earlier than that. I think 99 was his last year in a hobby. And I think he went right from a hobby to a mod.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So
yeah,
he says he can't throw a slider.
I know. Yeah.
Todd says he don't like, or Troy he's like, man, like that's his thing, and I can relate to that because it is, we were throwing some sliders, when I first started in 2013, but it's just different. Mm-hmm. It's different now.
Well, I think the cars have changed so much, and everybody's got kind of the same stuff now, and you're more of a momentum racing deal, right? So, like you said, you try to the biggest thing is trying to screw the guy up that you're going past, and hopefully he hits the cushion and gets tight or whatever. Like,
what people forget too, in my opinion, is it has made racing a little bit more exciting. Do I like it? No, I don't, because it most of the time I'm on the short end of the stick. But then there's times where it's like, I'm doing it and I'm going for it because there's 10 other dudes wanting it, doing it.
Right.
And Tim Ward and I we've made contact on my 2 wins. My 2 of my best modified wins come against Tim Ward, and we were sliding and dicing, and we made contact. Which one time was his fault, the other time was my fault. It was like, and they were like won by like this much, And back in the day, we talked about this with the Action Jackson. Even Todd can relate to this. I feel like back in the day, some guys, everybody raced with respect, but there was some rubbing and shit going on still.
Right. Yep.
So I think that now when you make that kind of contact, because you're throwing bombs, it's way frowned upon, if that makes sense, because it's like, oh man, but what was the transition? What made you finally just be like, all right, screw it, this is happening to me all the time? Because you drive your car so confidently on the racetrack, like we see Todd Shute do things that we're like, whoa, what's he doing? And all of a sudden it's like you're mowing through the field.
Oh, I don't know if there's a time where it necessarily clicked, but like I feel like if you have a lot of confidence in your race car, I mean, like pretty much anymore, I know when they drop the green if I'm good or not, and we don't race really long enough races to see their car transition, with fuel burn off and tires and things like that. I don't feel anyway. You usually know pretty quick what you got. But I've been doing this forever, so I ought to know kind of where my, how big my car is or how wide it is or if it's going to fit in this hole or whatever, I feel like, these cars are so equal anymore that it's, when I say bombs, like a guy's almost got to throw a bomb sometimes, that's the only way you're going to get it by somebody. And going back to the restarts and starts, the benefit of the lineup board, if I see certain numbers behind me, I know what's coming.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So,
yeah.
And that just comes from racing for a long time and watching video and people's tendencies. And but your scoreboard is a huge, you can use that to your advantage. So okay, this guy's behind me. He is definitely throwing a bomb at me.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So
yeah,
And it's the
All
69.
Well, the thing is, it's like he 100% know what he's feeling and talking about here, because it's like when you see certain guys behind you, it's like, man, it gets you pumped up. Like, you better not mess up. You better go in there and hit that your own slide job thing or whatever, because this guy, when you see the 5, the 4 TW or the 82 or the 11, I mean, you see those, especially the younger racers. Yep. I feel like the young, and this isn't a jab at the younger racers, but the younger racers they're the ones that kind of started this whole bomb shit. Mm-hmm. Not that it's a bad thing, but it's just so different.
They just drive different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the cars are a little more demanding now than I feel like what they were, 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And you may have back in the day when I started, you may have a guy with a 355 in, the next guy may have a 420 in, so you've got 100 horsepower difference in car. So like now we all are on basically the same thing within a few horse of each other, and just makes everything so much tighter and so much, everybody's so much more equal, I feel. So you don't have horsepower to get yourself out of trouble necessarily, or you can't just, if you had a 355 in there, you can just flat-foot it around there or something like that. But
what, in your opinion, is it tires or shocks? Which one of those would be more important in that situation where everybody's so equal?
It's crazy to me, and I've tried to figure this out for years. Like, how are we within 2 to 3 tenths of each other every night, and we're all on something different? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. There isn't a guy out there that's got the same shocks as I do. I don't feel. Maybe he does. I don't know. Or the same bar angles, or the same lead or trail or springs or preload or whatever you want to call it. I don't know. The tire is the equalizer, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. You can only get so much out of it. And I'm not going to go down that slippery slope, but the tires aren't getting any better. That's for sure.
Yeah. Yep. Well,
with the being an open motor guy, you got to experience that whole let's build our own stuff. Then we went to the crate motor things. Now that crate motor thing is kind of starting to, dwindle off with this spec motor option that IMCA has given us. Now we know you've been on a crate for a while. Have you considered building a spec motor to run next year in the 2026, or are you retiring or anything?
No, and I feel like the spec motor deal is a bit late to the party, in my opinion. Like, probably should have done it. There again, I'm probably going to get in a lot of trouble for what I say, but just how I feel. And I'm not going to ride the fence. I feel like it should have been done a few years ago, but better late than never, I guess. I'm not completely. I don't know either way. I ran one at the last race of the year at Marshalltown. I don't feel like that was probably the smartest thing for me to do, to go to a race like that and knowing it's going to be like this table every race we're out there and try something new. But
I mean, how was it?
it was all right. I mean,
What did it feel cool to like have an open motor back in? Because of I'm just saying, like, when
it feels cool till you get
out there.
Yeah, to either get past or it's not doing what you want. And it's not necessarily the engine's fault either, but like I raced open mods a couple years ago, and oh man, we got this 415-inch Kevin Stoa hammer in the car. Oh yeah, it sounds cool, but it's still, you got this 8-inch hockey puck on there, and you can only get so much to the ground. And that's why the first thing you see at a late model race after qualifying is they're ripping carburetors off and throwing restrictor plates on, or whatever to take the power away. I don't feel like the modified needs any more horsepower. I know that that's the biggest selling point, and I'm probably putting my foot in my mouth here, but I don't feel like they need more power or more torque. I mean, we may think they do, but
you saying that, it's like the modifieds and the sport mods are very similar in times at a lot of racetracks across the country.
Correct.
So to me, that tells my opinion is that the sport mods are a little less suspension, less motor,
right?
Which is going right on track with what you're saying here, and I think that when IMCA did the crate motor thing, because there were guys that were building, everybody had their Super Nationals motor, everybody had their weekly motor. You got to be part of that claim. How many motors did you lose?
I think I lost 5 or 6, and depending on how much time we have, one of the hardest ones was here that I lost, but we can get into that later. Lost one at the Super Nationals, lost a couple at the Harris Clash.
Now, I know your third night in a modified, you lost a motor.
Yep.
Did you win, or did you just run in the top 4?
I was second or third at the fairgrounds. And
remember who got you?
Yeah. Oh, I know exactly who it was.
Who was it?
Chad Porter.
Chad Porter.
Is it Minnesota?
Minnesota, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I didn't
Way to open those wins.
Well, I didn't know if it was going to be Dashing Dude Thompson, the 38 special, because he was. He saved up money all winter just so he could buy motors all summer.
He filled them up.
Yeah, I'd worked for Midwest Motorsports for a very short time, maybe 6 months, and I'd left there to come to JR Motorsports in Ankeny because it was a lot closer, and that's where I originally wanted to work anyway, but they didn't have an opening at the time. And it's a funny story, I actually filled the position that Jeremy Mills left open at Midwest Motorsports. So, and then when I came to, I don't know who I took over for at JR's when they finally gave me a call. I think it was James Albee was the manager at the time. But I think maybe word got out. I had 2 engines. I had a home-built 355, and I had Joe McBurney's 377 Super Nationals motor. And I think word got out that they thought I had my 377 in, but I did not. So they got a hyper-eutectic pistoned, stock-rodded 355 with out-of-the-box dart heads on it. So they got a decent motor, but they didn't get what they think they were getting.
But they also got a wheelman at the fairgrounds. You won a lot of races down there. You were good at that place.
Yeah, it was a love-hate relationship. You could come home with nothing or you could come home with a win. It was either that. It kind of, most nights were that way for me. So very, very fast, long straightaway, tight cornered type place. And it was close to home. I miss it to this day. It was one of my favorite places to race, just for a lot of different reasons.
Mm-hmm. We miss it too because when I first started racing, we used to go down there, because my dad raced there a lot, and But our favorite part was when we left the racetrack, because we'd go to the outer limits and spend dollars. You know? It was great. I mean, every time it rained, we definitely went to the outer limits. But it was one of my favorite places to race too, because I grew up there on every Friday night. You know, when they had the sprint cars and they had the late models, and I don't know how many cars they were averaging back then. It'd be cool to find that out. But I know it was one of the places to be on a Friday night.
Yeah. I probably still have some of the point sheets tucked away in one of the scrapbooks that my grandma made or something.
I'd be curious to know.
We raced down there with the sprint car, and I got to find it. There's a picture of my dad racing a sprint car, and Jerry Crabb is in the air flipping, and Dad's like underneath him, driving underneath him. It's pretty crazy.
I remember we used to run down, you know, on the front stretch. They'd open the gate up and stuff, and we'd get out on the track, and it'd just be slicker and shit, or more muddier and mud.
Right.
Yep. Yeah, I was lucky enough to do a little race in there, and then I worked there the last, I think, 4 years that they were in operation. And I was there for that last night. I still have the computer with all the stuff on it from the last couple nights. So.
God, the straightaways were so freaking long.
Bill Bonnet, he goes, "Did you bring your bologna?" I said, "Why?" He goes, "You'll be making a sandwich down the straightaway."
It's crazy. I mean,
I was used to Stewart, you know, where you're always turning.
Right.
Shit, yeah, you come out of the corner there, and it's like, where is the other corner at?
Right.
Holy cow.
So you started your racing career in 1997. You moved up to a modified in 2003.
Yep.
When did we inherit Toddzilla? Who gave you that name? Where did that come from? Because you it's such a fitting name for you on the racetrack because of how hard I feel like you race harder than anybody on the racetrack. Watched it before I raced, racing with you, and I've always wondered where the Toddzilla thing came from.
I think it was probably in the transition from the dwarf car to the modified. I do remember having shirts in the dwarf car where we had a character on the back that was kind of a silhouette of a Superman, but it had an S in purple on the chest. And then I know there was Toddzilla on our either first or second year in the modified. I can't remember exactly when, and I don't know. I was a huge Chubb Frank fan, so that's where the Toddzilla came from, because they called him Chubbzilla. So I don't know where the fire comes from or why. I'm very competitive. It may not seem that way, but like I don't like to lose, and I take it personal. I don't know why. So
I just always imagine your steering wheel's got to be like it's in trouble when you get in the car.
It is. My hands, I feel it in my forearms and my hands when I go to sleep at night. I'm like, why do my hands hurt so much? Really? But I think I just have a death grip on it, and I want to, grip my teeth, and I just want it so bad. I don't know what it is or why but that's just how I've always been, especially in a race car. I mean, other forms of life, I feel like I'm that way too, but definitely when I put the helmet on.
Yeah. Where'd you get that first modified?
I got it from Bobcat's dad over here.
Was he about 3-time then, or was he 4-time?
I think he was
in 2002.
I think he was 4. He might have 4-time at that time. I wanted to buy his red. It was a red framed car with a black body. And I don't know how I ended up with the purple framed car.
Yeah, candy purple. That baby was pretty.
Maybe he didn't like it and thought, I'm just going to pawn it off on this punk kid. But, I mean, we came out of and Jonathan can attest to this. I mean, this is back before there was it's so much easier to communicate with people now than it was back then. I had to know John Logue's phone number, and the only way I was going to be able to ask him a question was to call him. I couldn't text him. I couldn't. I think, what do they do?
On
Snapchat.
A landline.
Yeah, on a landline, not a cell phone.
Snapchat.
We brought the car up, to John's shop quite a few times and had him scale it and help us out. And because I knew nothing. I never scaled my dwarf car. I didn't know what your wheel weights were supposed to be. I had no idea what cross weight was. I didn't know what rear percentage meant. I mean, obviously it's pretty self-explanatory, but didn't know anything.
So what's to keep you from getting a hobby stock or a stock car or what sends you right into that modified?
They looked like a tin can, crumpled up tin can. That's the real reason, to be honest with you.
Really?
Yeah.
So, I just didn't want to, looking back, it's probably might have been the smarter way to go. I don't know, but we seemed to be pretty successful right out of the gate, and I'm sure that's because we had a really good car.
Mm-hmm.
We were kind of. I'd always kind of felt like that. You set yourself up for success, and it's probably comes a little easier that way if you come prepared or make the right decisions before you even get there.
Don't cut the corners, people.
Right.
No?
Especially in this because it's dog eat dog.
Yep.
And I see a lot of people that they just want to get there. I'm like, well, it takes X amount of dollars to get to the racetrack, X amount to get in, and time and all that, and you're gonna go there half-assed. Just stay home.
Yep.
And get it done right.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Well, should we go to our first break here, and then we'll come back with? Yeah, you were pretty close.
We almost hit it on time.
Yeah,
I told you.
31
I looked
minutes.
at it at minute 19,
Yeah.
and I'm like, okay, boys. We're coming on 20 here real quick.
Uh-huh.
But hey, we'll continue our conversation with Todd Shute when we come back from the break. We'll send it off to Weir's Machine and Central Iowa Diesel Performance. You're watching Watermelons and Woodchips.
When you go green, precision matters, and that's why you choose Weir's Machine. From suspension components, tools, and data technology, we've changed the game for race teams around the world. Our ultra-force load machines are revolutionizing how teams collect and analyze data, while our Circle Track app provides a data storage notebook giving you the edge on every turn. We're not here to follow the pack, we're here to lead it. American-made, race-tested, Weir's Machine.
Central Iowa Diesel Performance is a full-service preventative maintenance and truck repair center in Ames, Iowa. While they specialize in high-performance applications, they can do fleet repair, engine maintenance, transmission repair, or things such as brakes and electrical. Anything diesel truck related, Central Iowa Diesel Performance is your go-to shop. Check them out at www.centraliowadieselperformance.com.
Welcome back, race fans of Watermelons and Woodchips, presented by Central Iowa Diesel Performance. And before we get back into questions with Todd, Bobcat, what'd you think? We've talked about the scalp taters and ham a few times. So our boy Josh over here, he showed up with the crock pot, and man, those are pretty dang good.
Josh dialed in the scallop taters ham. I know you guys tried to put me on the spot and questioning the gal who I've never met made the scallop taters and ham in Denison.
She was
County Fair Queen or something like
Well,
that.
I mean, guys, I was just, you know what I'm saying. I mean, I'm sure I could find out who it was,
I would like to know. I want her
but
recipe.
I mean, the scallop taters and ham we brought were awesome.
They were really good.
They were awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very, very good. The Easter ham went well with it. It was well seasoned. It was hotter than shit, but it was really good.
Hotter than piss, wasn't it?
Every race car driver wants to hear that they're fast, and every cook wants to hear that their shit's tasty.
That's
So,
right.
There you go. Good deal.
Absolutely.
So we got Bass and Scout. Yeah. Well, now we got him hot on, Johnny on the spot. Now he's got to bring us something every week.
I think
now.
we're gonna have to. I think I've set the bar. I gotta do something. I gotta bring something to this party, right?
Okay, Brett, we're gonna need another trailer side by side here. We're gonna need a bigger table.
Well, you wanted to talk about the Musco thing real quick, also, which is pretty wild. I saw that on the news.
I just read it. Musco bought insane impact mobile LED displays. So, like the ones we have at Super Nationals that Brett brings in here, they bring them in on a trailer. They have like little ones all the way up to like double-sided gigantic things. So, I just thought that was interesting. Like
that's pretty cool. And to talk about those video boards, right? Like that we have. We started with, I think, one, right? Originally. I think, would we have 4 or 5 last year? Because Brett owns one.
plus the gigantic one on the back of the stands.
So that was somebody, I thought he said somebody from Texas was coming up to Super Nationals, and they said they wanted to bring it. Said, would you guys use it? And he's like, yeah.
You bet.
So the way they set that up, everybody could see, like, from the overflow pits.
Owen is the guy from Texas with that. They had it at the Clash on the Coast.
Yeah.
That thing is badass.
It is.
It's huge.
It is.
Huge. Like, and it has the stereo on it. I was on the mic last year with it, like, because they had no announcing in the pit area, you know. So it was like, but those screens that they bring in for Super Nationals, I mean, I kind of hate. I don't like it, and I do like it. I don't like the fact that I can't see the flag stand in the pit area from where you're standing unless it's on the screen, which they do catch up. I like it because all the drone footage and camera angles and shit like that.
Replays.
Replay stuff is cool. And, like, during the farm session, you know, like, this year I feel like IMCA TV did an excellent job of playing stuff, different stuff all week through those farm sessions, because those farm sessions get bananas.
Oh, sure.
I mean, I'm really I know it's a thing, but the Green Acres, we hear that whole week. It just I love that song, but I've heard it for 35 years.
I'm gonna suggest we find some different farming songs. There's got to be more out
Well,
there.
we can play Green Acres.
Yeah. Oh,
But
Not on repeat.
every single frickin' time. You know?
Right.
And, just because we're talking about this, we go to Joe Bush's this weekend for his 70th birthday party. Sponsors the racetrack.
Joe's
Right.
70.
Joe 70.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay.
And we get there, and my dad, I'm going to get you a picture of this thing. We walk through the shop, and this tractor's got a V8 engine in it with these two 4-inch stacks coming out the front of this thing. The tires are twice as wide. It's an open cab like what Hank rips out. Well, actually, Hank went to the closed cab. That's what
Topless Joe.
Jake.
Oh, Jake.
I think it's the 5440, ain't it?
There's a 50-20 that I've heard isn't exactly a 50-20. I grew up on a farm, so I see those numbers, and I'm like, oh, yeah, I remember that when I was a kid.
But you really don't remember it?
The
Or
50-20
you do
is
remember
the
it.
one that Hank is known for
Yeah,
being a
yeah.
50-20.
When he's got a tall Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's got a tall Paul going on. He hops on that thing. It's business. Headset going on. But anyway, we see this tractor, and it's got these. I'm gonna have my dad send G the picture so he can post it in the video. But it's got the big floater tires on the front, the huge floater tires on the back. It just
Hell
looks
yeah.
meaner than hell.
You bet.
So my dad sends it to Brett and goes, "I found you a new tractor." Like. We don't know if it's for sale, but we were at Joe's party and seen it, and so if my dad can, he's like, I'll buy it. I'm like, Hank calls my dad. He goes, John, I can't get your picture. I still have a flip phone. I'm like, oh my God, Hank. Dude.
Hey,
Okay,
he does watch this.
Yeah, I know.
Absolutely.
I'm thinking, okay, Dad, send it to Mary. I know she's probably got a smartphone.
Yep.
But Dad's not real.
He's good on Snapchat.
He's good on Snapchat. It took a while, but we got him there.
Yeah.
I gotta add him on Snapchat.
It's good.
I've heard it's good stuff.
He's good. He's got good Snapchat.
It is good stuff. It's
good.
a lot of duck. A lot of ducks going on.
Well, back to Todd here. So, my biggest Todd Shute memory was obviously like the most famous Todd Shute memory I think I have is obviously the 2013 All-Star race.
Yeah.
And I believe that year, because I was out in Pennsylvania then. So I'm sitting on the couch because that was when they ran that. Yeah, they ran it Friday night. So I had gotten home from Williams Grove because I was at Williams Grove, drove back to watch the Super Nationals, and I think I was able to watch that race and it was like I'm just like yelling at the TV, like it was nuts. Like it was kind of talk us through. I know it's been a long time, but that's got to be one of your highlights of your career, correct?
Oh, absolutely. And it started before the race even started. I just, started at the draw, and I heard some people making some comments about what they're going to do in the race, or they're starting in the back, and this is stupid, blah, blah, blah. And I don't know, like it just lit something inside of me. And we started in the middle of the pack, I believe, like 15th or something like that. And it's crazy because like in the first couple laps, I think I about spun out in 3 and 4. And I had the car set up a little differently. normal, but it had a lot of traction to it. So, and this was the time when I believe Dylan Smith won the Super Nationals that year with a crate motor in. So he was coming. He started like way in the back, and he was coming too. But I didn't know he was coming till the end, you know. But we got to racing with Gould and Abelson, and it was like the most patiently aggressive race I've ever ran in my life. And then it was just like, you know, side by side, not really aggressive slide jobs, but there were sliders thrown. And, you know, Chris is known for slide jobs. And, I mean, we've always raced each other with a lot of respect, I feel, and I have a lot of respect for him. And I think he feels the same way. And William Gould as well, and kind of some older school guys. But it just worked out for us, and definitely cool. And, you know, got a lot of hype for us. You know, we hadn't done anything for quite a while, and that definitely put us back on the map a little bit. So,
well, that was in my mind. I know streaming had been here a little bit, but that was like the kickoff, because I remember how animated and elevated Jerry was on the call, or not? Maybe it wasn't Jerry, was it?
Yeah.
Was it Jerry? Okay, good. Thank God. Sorry, Jerry. But I just remember how animated they were, and the race itself was like, you know, I could go back and watch it right now, and I guarantee my heart rate's going to jump. Like, that was
It's
hell
giving me
of a
chills
race.
talking about it.
It was awesome.
Like, that's the kind of shit.
And the way the fact that you brought it up, I think that's what. Yeah, you're right. It was like the beginning of the streaming service stuff, right?
It was,
and that was what I think, just like you said, kicked it all off.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, this is what goes on every week.
If anything around here went viral, I think that was probably number one, right? And that was just a huge race. And Chris is another one that I kind of feel sorry for his steering wheel, like after a race, because I guarantee he puts some muscle to that thing.
He does.
He drives hard.
He's fun to race with. And yeah, the video, I mean, people bring it up to me still to this day all the time. You know, oh man, I remember that. You know, and I'm not one that tries to beat a dead horse by any means, but it was really cool. And you know, the video was on YouTube for a long time, and I think the guy that owns the rights to the video is probably in a jail cell right now.
I think you might be right on that.
Yeah, he might have. Might be there.
We're gonna do it again.
That fucker has a lot of those.
Yeah.
I can't watch my 2014 Super Nationals win,
right,
because of that. Which Ponder Promotions, I don't know if that kid or any of you like weirdo computer people. I was in the staging.
Robotic.
I was in staging. I was starting 10th, and this kid, this big, tall, lengthy, like, just weird looking dude comes walking up to my car, and he's like, "Hey man, do you care if I put a GoPro on your car?" I'm like, "Sure." And I passed the crate killer on like lap 16 and go to win that thing the first time, and it caught all of it, you know.
Nice.
And it was wild. But I can't watch that one. I can't watch the 2019 one.
Yeah.
Someday you'll be able to. The federal courts will get it back.
Well,
we got faith in them.
Could you guys hurry up? Because
they just came off a shutdown.
I'm just saying, okay? Well, they're sitting in there doing nothing. Let's get the ball rolling here a little bit, so we can all of us guys that have all those archived videos can watch them.
Well, and then so obviously go back to your Super Nationals runs that you had, right? Winning in 07, but was it 06? You had to lose one first in 06 and then come back and just whoop the piss out of them in 07?
Yeah, we shot ourselves in the foot in 06. I remember, you know, it was a 40-lap race, and I mean, our car was right on the very fine line of being light, you know, and for some reason I thought it was a great idea to stack 50 pounds of lead right above the right rear spring and the left rear spring, and this thing was like driving a turd down the river.
Upstream?
Yeah. It was still fast, but it wasn't like it was. This was in 06, and I think we led 20 or 25 laps. Lewerke and Mike Molly were really quick that year, and Lewerke ended up winning, and Molly ended up running second, and I think I got a flat somewhere after I got passed. But Lewerke and I raced pretty hard there for a little while, and then in 07, we had a completely different. We had more like a Bob Pierce style modified setup on our car in 06, and we went to the actual 4x4 in 07 because that's what we got beat by the year before. So we had to have that, because That's why we got beat. No, it's not really why we got beat.
That was a skyrocket deal, right?
Yeah, yep. and there again, I'm still don't know anything at this point. I can scale my car. Check caster and camber and all that, but
but still though, in 03, you're just 3 years into your modified career,
right.
and you are battling with the big dogs, not knowing nothing.
Right. Well, and working at JR Motorsports and that, I was surrounded by just incredible people, and I could just bounce stuff off of them all day long, and then I was on the phone all day long with racers too, so I think that helped. I knew I needed to do something, be in the industry somehow, or I wasn't going to get where I wanted to be as far as racing goes, because I didn't know anybody in racing. Mm-hmm. So that's why I chose a career for quite a while actually in motorsports, just to help my racing career or my racing hobby. To me it was a career, but now I feel like it's more of a hobby. But
or get you like a 3% discount or something at the counter, right?
Yeah, something like that.
So I know in the Super Nationals, you had a run there where, to me, when you showed up, there's the man, right? And we had that with the 69 for a number of years. We had that David Murray Jr., we talked about him a little while ago, when he would show up, like, that guy, he's going to run up front. You still have it, right? When we roll in here on Saturday nights, I see you come through the gate, and I'm like, he'll run good, he's going to run up front. And how many wins did you get this year?
Hero only won one time, but we were on the slab just about every night, I feel like. So
running hard,
and it's a tough crowd here. It's a tough crowd anywhere. I mean, it's no secret that I feel like the most badass racers are in Central Iowa, whether they grew up here or they moved here. Mm-hmm. There is none better. Now, they're not saying that there isn't anybody good outside of here. There is, but the majority of them, if not all of them, are here.
Yeah.
So there's a reason a lot of them transplant here too, right?
Right.
So that has to be a testament to they want to get better. Like, and that's the only way to get better is to race against the best dudes. And then you see these guys moving in, and
you kind of see that in other sanctions too, like late models and the sprint cars. There's just certain areas that just carry not the cream, because there are creams from other states and stuff that come here, like we had mentioned, but Iowa, there's times during the year that we can race 7 days a week, or a minute. I mean, just with all the specials going on and the weekly stuff and everything. And I think that just puts more cars here per capita, or however you say that, if that's correct. But the amount of talent that comes here to Iowa, and I feel like that's why it's really tough to win, like, a state title or a regional title in this area. And this isn't a jab to the other drivers. We just have a lot more racetracks here.
Well, they're just hotly contested. Like,
right.
Every year you see it come down to a point, a race.
Well, this area for modifieds, right? It reminds me of that central Pennsylvania for sprint cars.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's very, very similar, and I'm obviously lucky enough to have worked in both areas. So, and it's when I went out there to do the sprint car deal, and then you come back here, it's very, very similar.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that over the years of you racing a modified, when do you feel like you're gaining? Are these were your best years? When were your best years? And how many wins do you have under you and Troy got?
100 and I don't know. Like, they're not all IMCA wins, so I think it's in the 150 range. A couple years ago, we had one of our best years we ever had as far as wins go. But like there again, going back to, it's very difficult to win a large number of races in this area. Like, extremely difficult.
We talked about that on the last couple podcasts. Nobody's really dominated. I mean, you got some people that, they're racing weekly stuff and picking up, like some of the sport mod guys. Braden Carter, I mean, he ran really well, but really, like, in the modifieds, in the stock cars,
Right.
Nobody's like, oh, shit, I'm not going there because,
Right.
X, Y, or Z's there,
Right.
Well,
like,
I think the last one that sticks out to me was probably was it whatever year was it when Tom had his Razor car and he won
Yeah.
a
Tom
ton of-
Berry.
yeah
Yeah.
that was the last year that I remember somebody being like really dominant.
Yep.
Was that when he had that car,
And-
whatever year that was.
And I feel like he had a clear and decisive plan on what he came here to do, and that's what he came here to do, was win a national title, and he executed it, and it worked out for him. That being said, I don't know how many. I think the guy that won the national championship this year might have had 14 or 15 wins, which in 2007 or 2008 wouldn't even got you in the top 10.
Right.
So
Right.
2006, Dan Fitzgerald won 31 races or 32 races and still got second in points.
Yep.
Yeah, it's great. It's
Because
crazy.
I remember that like sticking in my mind. We were at the national banquet. He won every single award you could win except for the national
Except for the
title.
big eagle.
which is just so hard to interpret.
Right.
That. We see these people though too. These transplant, Tom Berry, Tim Ward. Them guys they were good when they got here, but I remember them coming in with shit tore off their car every week.
Yep.
You still do it. I still do it. Like, we it's not that all of us have, or not all of us, but a lot of us that have the success, it wasn't just a over the night thing, and everybody's like, oh man, you got all this money. And Todd, we all have a lot of great help and a lot of great partners or sponsors that get us through. And once you start accumulating that shit, your parts and your this, whether you might not use it for 5 years.
Right.
I've got stuff in my shop still left over from my sport mod, and I haven't raced a sport mod in quite a while. And that's where you start building the character. You start getting better and better and better. And it is kind of cool to see those guys come here and have a goal and reach that goal, knowing how tough it really is out here.
For sure. Yeah, when we talked about the Super Nationals wins, there's one thing I wanted to bring up. How many Ron Little Memorials have you won? Do you know?
6.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to say 6 or...
It's-
yeah.
or 7?
Is that an all-time?
It's been deep, man. That's almost 50 minutes. We made it there. That's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
It's getting moved on. See, we're
This is maybe a Ryan Clark question. Is he the all-time winning Ron Little Memorial modified winner?
I think I know who can figure that out.
My brother knows, but
Yes.
he knows
Phone him
everything.
in.
Can I phone a friend?
So the reason that I ask about that, so that race is, and the fact that Mike's continuing it, it's special to me. I was pitted next to Ron the night he died, and like that family, Mary, Joe, Lacey, all of them have always meant a lot to me. So when I see you show up to that race, I'm like, and you're still, when you pull in the gate, I'm like, that's one of the favorites. But for that race especially, for me, it's cool to see that you've won that because you were racing when Ron was around. You're one of the few left that, like, we could walk through the modified field and people will go, who's Ron Little? And people are going to go, I don't know. And we do have that, but it's special to me that you continue to come and race that event, that you continue to have it, and you've been really good there.
Yeah, and I've been vocal about this. I don't like memorial races because somebody died.
Yeah.
Somebody special died.
Yep.
But I do like them, because in that race in particular, along with a few others, I'm more. They hit harder if I lose. I want to win that one.
Yeah.
the racer, we had epic battles here, Jake Durbin and I, and then they had a Jake Durbin Memorial race, and I don't think I won the first one, and I was very upset about that. Like, I was mad. Like, I want to win the Jake Durbin Memorial. Yep. Bill Davis Sr., I was really tight with Bill Davis Jr., and then Bill Davis Sr. would come into the store all the time. We got to know each other quite well, so I always wanted to win that race too.
You win that race? You've won the Bill?
Yeah.
I won the Bill Davis Memorial too, and I agree with you 100%. Like, when you're at a memorial race like that, it just, I don't know, it's just weird. Yeah. Like, and to have that on my wall, which I never got to race with Big Bill or Billy Jr., got to race with Bill Weirs, their nephew, and grandson. But I don't know, it just hits different. And I was proud of it because that was one of my dad's idols in modified racing. Oh, yeah. And Bill Davis Sr. was a badass.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And a tall badass.
Yeah. He won a lot of races. He pulled a lot of motors.
Punched Bill Olson. I'm just saying, like, he
kind of did
so
it all.
I can relate to that, Todd, 100%. It's so cool to go to those kind of races and have success. And everybody else, too, it almost kind of pisses me off when Ricky Thornton Jr. goes out to that Nebraska deal, and the kid that he passed raced with that kid, the guy that had passed away or the memorial race was for. Like, man, like, knowing what it would have meant to him to win that race. No, that wasn't a jab at Ricky, so everybody can suck it. I was just saying, like, Ricky went out, and Ricky just out slide jobbed him is what it was. That kid ran a hell of a race. It was so fun. If you didn't get to watch that, good watch there on the IMCA TV replay. But
and the families, like the families from the memorial, whoever the memorial is for.
Yep.
To see them, go through the emotions of the night and walk to victory lane and stand out there when you guys are on the track and waving the flags. I mean, it just,
it's a whole thing.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
It really is.
You just don't forget the look on Mary College's face when she, when you pull into victory lane, or Lacey, and Nathan, and it's really cool. And going back to Bill Davis Sr., when I worked at JR's, I not only worked with Billy Jr., his son, but I worked with a guy responsible for a lot of Bill Davis Sr.'s success, and that was Axel Andreessen. Yeah. And I still talk about that guy to this day because he made such an impact on me. Yeah.
Axel, you talk about having some history. That guy, you can look back and find his name all the way back to a long time ago, the 50s, the 60s. Like, man, he had a footprint.
Such an innovator and thought outside the box, and it just, very, very influential on me. And, I wish I would have got to spend more time with him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, hey, should we go into our last break real quick, and then we'll come back with our Elmquist question of the week. We got some hitters on that for sure.
Yep.
So we're going to go to a break. We'll send it over to Logue Fab for commercial, and we'll be back on Watermelons and Wood Chips. This next segment is brought to you by Logue Fabrication, your go-to shop for custom metal fabrication. From residential and commercial projects to auto racing applications, Logue Fabrication delivers quality and precision every time. They're not just fabricators, they're racers too. Proud home to Rage Hobby Stock and Stock Carts you see tearing up Boone Speedway every week. Whether you need a custom railing, a commercial build, or race-ready metalwork, trust the team at Logue Fabrication to get it done right. Logue Fabrication, where craftsmanship meets horsepower. We can help you stand out anywhere with P1 Promotions, the home of P1P Canopy. From the racetrack to the ball fields to trade shows and beyond, our custom pop-up canopies are built to showcase your brand in style, with multiple sizes and full customization available. But we don't stop there. P1 Promotions also delivers custom rugs, apparel, sportswear, trade show setups, and even P1P custom awards that make an impact. You can see all we have to offer at www.p1pcanopy.com. Welcome back, race fans. Watermelons and Woodchips presented by Central Iowa Diesel Performance. Had a really good conversation with Todd so far. We want to get into our Elmquist Towing question of the week. So, and that was, who do you think had the biggest upset in Super Nationals history? Could be any class, right? It's actually, we got to get our weekly Cam Gruber bulletproof mention in here, but it's actually something. It's funny that you brought it up because you had texted me and you're like, I have some of these in my notes, and you had sent me the question, and I was like, we actually talked about that. Cam and I and Burke and I had talked about that in our group text, and so Cam got another shout out because he was on the same wavelength, but had a lot of comments. Yeah, it says 70 some comments, but I guess I'll start with you. Like, what was your biggest?
My biggest one was Eric Brown, 2001. So early in that year,
electrifying Eric Brown, they used to call him.
I called him High Dollar.
High Dollar.
He came down and raced the fairgrounds one time, and I actually walked up to him and said that, and we joked about it. But early in that year, he had a brand new Terminator, lightning fast. There wasn't nothing he was going to lose.
Red chassis.
Put
black
that
body.
sumbitch off turn 1 and 2. I don't know how many times he went over, but she went to the scrap heap. So he had to go pull out the old backup, and he ran that the rest of the year and ended up winning Super Nationals that year. So that was my personal one. I got a couple other ones, but you actually said the other one that I had thought of.
Yeah, the one that I was thinking of was the year that Mike Pruitt won the Sport Mods, and it was it a Raven car? Is that what they called it?
Something.
Raven chassis. Yeah,
Home built.
But yeah, Mike Pruitt winning that, or the year that Harvey Vanderweerd ended up winning, when Kevin and Luke wrecked each other. Yep. That was 2008, because I think that was like the lull, basically kind of the lull year, I guess, that I had. I wasn't helping anybody, but it was Jason had stopped racing in 07, and then I didn't start helping Jeff Olson and Eric Elliott until later. But that was the one year we were kind of running around with Kevin, and we were all, buddies and whatever. And I remember I don't even remember whose hauler. I was standing on somebody's hauler watching the race. It might have been like Cale Sponsler's, because we were over in that area. We were parked right next to him usually, and you could stand on Cale's hauler to see, like, going down the backstretch, because that was back before the streaming. So you had to find somewhere to stand, and the catwalks were packed and whatever. So anyway, and at the time, I'm pretty sure Kevin was like whooping him, and he was gone. And there was like 2 laps to go. So I get down off of the hauler because I'm like, oh, we're gonna go party, And then all of a sudden the red flag's out, and I see like cars rolling down the backstretch, and I'm like, what just happened? But him and Luke, because Luke had caught him. Yeah, Luke ran him down.
Luke was coming.
Luke chased him hard.
He was coming. That was I'm pretty sure, I could be completely wrong on this, but that was one of Luke's first years in a sport mod.
Yeah.
Started in a hobby stock.
Yep.
That kid, Luke Waniger, fast.
Oh my God.
Bad fast.
Yeah.
Didn't matter what he was in.
Great kid. Great guy. Worked for my dad for a little bit.
Yeah.
Then just kind of did what the Llewellyns did. Vanished.
Yeah. I think he's building houses now.
Yeah. I mean, he's still around. I'm just saying, like, he just left the racing scene.
Yep.
But
what a barn burner that was.
Oh my gosh. It was wild. And then Bill, I think that year between both of them, they had 60 wins probably between the two of them. I mean, every night it was one of those two guys.
That was back when you could run a 20-inch spring and shit. Have that sucker all loaded up. Before they were like, all right, boys, you guys are sport mods, not modifieds. You're done with 13.
But that was the year that Harvey won and the year that Mike Pruitt won. But you got any that come to mind?
Not really. I remember watching Randy Havlick win in 09 and being like, what just happened?
Yeah.
I remember your dad winning, I think.
01.
Was it Al?
Al broke an axle, and I thought Tony Hoffbauer was going to win. And then for whatever reason, old 5-time got around him, and I was like, what? Those two stand out the most to me. That was like, what just happened here?
Well, because
he wouldn't be the 5-time if it wasn't for Al Haina breaking that axle. And I just remember, and this isn't a jab at Tony Hoffbauer, but it was like, Dad, don't let Tony Hoffbauer win this race.
I think he felt the same way.
I'm sure he did, yeah. Yeah, that was pretty crazy. I mean, I think thousands of fans that watched Al Haina break that night, their hearts broke. As well as as Al's did.
You could about see Al's break in the car.
Still to this day, they just posted a video. They did, or he did, or some other, that he still has the axle hanging in his shop that broke. I mean, he's still to this day. You talk about it, and he's just like, man.
You talk about carrying something. That would stick with you.
That's
Seriously.
the power of that race. I mean, it changes your racing trajectory. That's for sure. I mean, it opened doors for me that I never thought were imaginable. After we won, and I heard you talking about it on maybe the last episode, what it did for you. So yeah, if you lose one, and I remember probably, losing, I've lost a few of them, not really, they probably hurt more than the feeling I got of actually winning one felt, it felt great, but I was like, man, I should have won this one, and I should have won this one, and I should have won this one.
Mm-hmm.
So...
There's a pretty cool video of you on YouTube climbing the fence, though. Still, I did find it. So,
Toddzilla.
Yeah, we're gonna splice that in this.
He's gonna climb the fence. Climbing the fence. Little cheer him on. Come on now. Todd Shute getting up there on that fence. Toddzilla did it. Right there. Come on now, ladies and gentlemen. Put the hands together for him. Todd Shute.
Who took that video?
See, I thought it was me, but I think I just edited it.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah, because I had something to do.
He did learn a lot of things from Lottie. He hasn't had a lot of original ideas.
Right. Well, no. So I think Troy had the video and sent it to me, and I think I ended up burning a bunch of DVDs or something for him. But that was in 2007 when I was still in college. So he probably Troy bought me some beer, I think, with the money that I made off burning those DVDs. But
that hole that's in turn one was there.
Was it there
night.
then?
That was there that night too.
Really?
Because I hit it 40 laps in a row.
See, folks, this hole has been there for years. It's been worked on. We've talked about it. When it rains, it's there. When it's dry, it's good.
Yep.
Right.
But obviously,
Vinton has the same problem.
You can drive through that hole and be successful, it sounds like.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with a track with character. I think they race better in a track that's smooth. I think it puts on a better show. It makes for better racing. I have no problem. Now, they can't be like, the plowed field out here, but like not that way, but this way.
Yeah.
But yeah, they do. I think they do create better racing. So
does it, in your opinion, do you see something like that and you're like, okay, this is how I'm going to navigate this and try to find my way through it and try to be the quickest one to that method? Or what do you think when you pull out on a track when you know it's got some character?
You just try to, there's usually some moisture in them holes, and if you can get through them without upsetting your car too much, you're usually a little faster. But some people try to drive around them. Some people drive through them. I don't know. You just got to find your way, I guess. I don't really know what my mindset is. Sometimes it's like, well, I know this guy might go around it because he doesn't want to drive through it, so I'll drive through it and see if I make it. I don't know.
Yeah.
He's never been in a hole that ain't had traction in the bottom, I tell you. Peyton Taylor's one of his favorite words, and Todd is that we keep going back to this Toddzilla thing. So when the track's got character in it, it's Western.
It's go time.
It's, yeah.
Hell yeah.
And, some people get, like, pissy because of the hole and you get together or whatever, never really see Todd Shute get that fired up, but we do know that this year in the pit area at Boone Speedway, they've got they're coming out with this new watering system. to keep the dust down in the pit area around the concession stand.
Just west of the concession stand, maybe?
Well, no, the whole pit area.
Oh, the whole pit area.
Yeah,
Okay.
Hank said you guys are putting in like a nice little sprinkler setup so we don't have to drive the water truck down the road and dump all 2,000 gallons
Like an
in the pit area.
auto water kind
The
of.
only racetrack your car gets dirtier in the pits than it does on the track.
There it was. I was waiting for it.
Did you get some inside information there or something?
I started off with the hair. I went in gingerly, not even knowing that was a thing.
So you went into the hole, seeing if there was some traction.
Then we got into the hole. I'm like, all right, here's the chance right here. Here you go. Here's the chance.
When you're pulling tear-offs going to lineup, there's
Right.
probably could lay off on the water a little bit.
Right.
I mean, it's like blacktop out there anyway. I'm not really sure why we're watering it. And no disrespect to the water truck guy. I know I've seen him for 25 years,
Nathan.
but
Yep.
Nathan,
Yep.
he's just doing what he's told. But we could save a little money on the water truck and the diesel and
No, Nathan, we do appreciate when the lizards are walking through the pits and you give them a little splish splash. We're just saying. And then there was also an awesome shirt inspired by that water truck.
Yes.
I've raced my entire life, or been around the racing stuff. I've never seen another water truck like it. I got to take some laps this year with Nate in it because, there are a few people here at the Speedway that are going to be in some training for track prep sessions. So I wanted to be the first on that list. I don't know if I'm on it, but I did get to take some. I got to learn the buttons inside. And let me tell you, boys, something. It's cool. At least a shit ton of water out the ass end, and I know they work on it like every week.
Yep.
But if that thing dies, I know there's a mini one out by the wood chip pile. We've seen that.
There's a couple.
Yeah.
But that, to me, is one of the coolest pieces of equipment here at the racetrack. Jimmy Gustin made a badass shirt about it. I think he sold like 39,000 of them at Super Nationals. But, yeah. Nate, I really do like you, but I'm so tired of the water in the pit area.
So they did put a new water pump on that thing, so they are staying up on that thing. They're trying to keep her going. But low key, I have been kind of looking around the country to see if there might be another one laying in the weeds somewhere that still runs, or because you can't have enough backups, right? When you're dealing
if you
with
can
old
find another
stuff.
one just like it,
Yeah.
we'd be uptown.
I don't know if the Boone Speedway is the Boone Speedway without that style of water truck.
That thing kind of.
I mean, seriously.
Yeah, no, dead
it's kind of
serious.
like I know that tractor that Hanks drove, he's blown it up, or not him, but it's blown up 3 times. But
yeah. She's on her
that
third, fourth
tractor,
life.
but that tractor is, Rod gets in the little water truck, which it's cool. It's more modern, but not as cool.
More robotic.
Right, and he only does the bottom. We don't know if that's because it won't hold, or if Nate just hogs up the track.
I wonder if Rod has flashbacks to Marshalltown, maybe going for a roll one time that he just kind of stays down on the flat. I don't know.
Well, I don't know. You see him get in that frickin' tractor, and the old black smoke rolls out the top, and he hits her. And
He don't mess around with the tractor, but it's got duals on the outside, so it's a little wider, got a little bigger stance.
True.
But yeah, so we're keeping our eyes on stuff like that. Some of these other upsets, though, the one I think the most comments had on it was Kelly Bowen. Mm-hmm. That was from 1996, which I think you corrected Matt on the year. He said 95.
Yes, that was the first Sunday.
Yeah.
Ran.
Yeah.
Super Nationals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's only been 2 of those. 1996 and 2020.
Yep.
That's why.
Do you know a guy that won 2020?
I'll never forget it. I mean, I was waiting. Biggest upset Super National thing for me, or that I can remember, is 2015 to Clint Llewellyn and myself. I led the whole thing. Clint threw a frickin' haymaker, man, and I didn't have enough break in, and I dove in there and lost to him by not that much, and that feeling. Like,
Haunts
I'm
you.
looking it up. I mean, Clint deserved it. He ran a hell of a race. I led the whole thing. I mean, was going to go back-to-back that year in 2015. And, man, I still to this day just, when I see that, watch it, look at the trophy, I'm just like, the look on all the people in your trailer. You're there all week. I was defending, but then at the same time, I'm like, I mean, yeah, I was the first loser.
I have that feeling as a crew guy, right? So like, not necessarily an upset, but a heartbreak moment, right?
Yep.
So like, when we won in 2006, Jason was running second, and Jake Murray was in Big Bill's car and just waxing him. Well, he lost a cylinder during the race. He goes to get off the gas going into turn 3, and the thing got super tight, and that's when he went off the end. Well, Jason ended up winning that year. The next year, he's leading the whole thing. Same deal. I mean, just straight away on everybody, gone. And then I think Paul Nagel rolled in turn 2, and then on the restart, Wassenberg got by him and with like 3 laps to go or 2 laps to go, whatever it was. So still to this day, I remember exactly the feeling. Now, I wasn't in the car, but you just feel your whole soul leave your body.
Well, and as a driver, you almost feel like, your brother and you work really freaking hard at this, and Dustin and guys that help me work really hard at this. So as a driver, when I'm out there, if we're not doing good, I feel like I'm letting them down.
Right.
You got a lot of people that come to the racetrack that are supporting you too, whether you do good or bad. But as the driver, I feel like, man, I was kind of being a pussy. I should have won that race, or I should have roughed that guy, or I should have done this different, or whatever that scenario is. So, for me personally, that was my biggest upset, was the Llewellyn thing. But and I may be biased about this just because it was my dad, but in 2001, nobody's done it to this day in any division. Come from 33rd in 13 laps.
Mm-hmm.
Kelly Shyrock, the fertile turtle, was on the front row, still running open motors at this time. I mean, I'm in the grandstands with my grandparents and everything. And
this was the three-wheeler days, right?
Oh, yeah.
Everybody was doing it. The fastest.
Oh, yeah. And it was, but I was, Kelly Shyrock at this time had not ever won a Super Nationals.
Because that was when we sat, because...
but we were playing cars,
Yeah, Millie would sit in this section. My parents and my Grandma Sharon would sit here. So Jonathan and I were all in the stands. And I remember we had like Johnny Sadoff people sitting next to us. And I remember, I think Brandon King was in there.
You guys had all your campers. Remember, because it rained so bad.
Mm-hmm.
The campground, I mean, I wish we would have had footage of that.
Like, was that the year the stuff was like floating down?
Shit was floating down the. There was tents and everything. They canceled all of the last chance races, and the only reason that my dad got in by 1 point.
Do you know who it was over?
I can't remember.
I do.
Who?
Bobby Bowman.
Bobby Bowman.
He's a customer of mine.
I do remember Bobby.
Yeah. I talk to him to this day still. He was a customer.
Heartbroken. Because that would have put him in. He'd never been in a
42B
show before. You bet?
Yeah.
And Ford.
Yep.
Yeah.
But my dad...
This is the brain capacity thing I was talking with you about.
Still find that.
But my dad that year, set the fastest lap time in a modified. To ever win it from 33rd to 1st, to pass that many cars, which there were some yellows. I mean, he had some help, but still
got to do it.
And what was the wildest thing about it? I mean, I was rooting for Kelly Shyrock because, I mean, there were so many good cars.
Sure.
Usually them guys get into lap traffic in the first 10, 12 laps because of what's going on, 3-wide start, et cetera, et cetera. Well, when my dad passes Kelly Shyrock and puts a straightaway on him, and Kelly was running a 650 gear, and my dad was running a 529.
Yeah, just puttering.
Almost 100 points difference. That's just wild.
And I bet he wasn't spinning a tire either.
Oh.
He's just...
Right around the bottom.
Yep.
Right around the bottom, And so, for me, the biggest upset... I'm biased because it's my dad, but it's because it's never been done again.
Yeah.
We
had a close one. You'll never get to 33 in another class, right? But Donovan that one came in here in the 2020 race.
I seen that. You know,
Yeah.
Buck Shafroth
Oh yeah.
should have won that race.
yeah.
No offense, Don.
Oh, yeah.
Because that was I was in a rage
That
stock
was
car.
that was a wild stock car.
Wild.
Yes, it
He
was.
was in 9th or something, wasn't he? With like on
3 to go or something.
whatever.
4 to
Because we
go.
had however many green white checkers back to back. And I think he was like in 9th. Fenders are fucking laying all
it was-
over.
oh,
like
yeah.
Slobber knocker.
It was
Uh-huh.
crazy.
Yeah, it was.
It was crazy. We
definitely was.
talked, and that was before I knew Todd and Buck and all them, and when I went and drove for them and stuff. Mm-hmm. And then we went to their shop the one time. Do you guys remember the dude that was ramping the shit right in front of our pit area, right by the pit command,
Yeah.
with the four-wheelers
Oh.
in the trash can and shit?
Oh, yeah.
Come to find out,
Yeah.
Todd and them, they've got a picture of Strickler and everybody. We're all out there like, yeah. It was Matt.
It
The whole
was.
thing. Yeah.
It was?
No way.
No shit. I go down there to Todd and Bucks, and I'm like looking at all their shit, you know, all their trophies and everything, and I'm like,
Yeah, that guy works for you.
what?
That's so funny.
But I never had put 2 and 2. I had no
Nope.
clue, you know.
Wow.
So, but then that's when we got
That was
in.
the trash can bowling.
Yes, and that's when, you know, when the whole Buck thing, and that's when we learned about, you know, and Donovan was in a race. That was one of the first years we did the rage car, and so it was really cool for us because a rage stock car won the Super Nationals, you know. But crazy circumstance.
Yeah. Hey, and before we sign off on this, there's one thing he talks about having Ducky and whatever, and having good crew chief and stuff. But like you and your brother seem to have like one of the best dynamics I've seen you guys, you know, I don't know. You see Troy, you see Todd, you see Troy. Like wherever you go when you see that 5 car, and Troy does a lot, and like I said, he's super knowledgeable about all this racing stuff, and that dude's a racer also.
He is. He's he's the driving force behind us. He's very passionate about racing. He's passionate about other things too, but like just the amount of knowledge he has, not even about modifieds or whatever, but sprint cars and late models, and he's like, I talked to this guy today, and I talked to that. I'm like, I don't even know who that is, you know. But it's like somebody's crew chief or RTJ or whoever it might be, and he keeps tabs on everything, and he puts in a lot of hours in the shop. I would say he probably takes care of he takes care of the tires and making sure stuff's organized and cleaned, and he has some other duties. I'm more the mechanical type person, taking care of the race car and stuff, but he washes it, and without him, I mean, I might race once a month, but with him, we race quite often, and for really just 2 of us, we race quite a bit. So for just 2 guys that work 50 plus hours a week, and I have a family and kids, and the amount of time it takes to be competitive is, I don't think a lot of people realize that. People that obviously race know, but to be able to race at a high level, which I feel like we do. I know that this is weekly racing, but I feel like it's a very high level. Like we race against people that can race at the next level, whether it be late models, and we race against them quite often. Without him, I wouldn't be where I'm at. I mean, he's got us help on the race car from certain different folks, and he's more into the social media stuff. He runs our Todd Shute Racing Facebook page. I don't think I've ever posted anything on there. I'm not a big social media person.
He's good at it.
Yeah.
He is good at it.
And he probably, and he probably posts a little too much for my liking, but the people that support us, like to see that. And I'm kind of more of a private person. Like I don't want to, hey, we'd like to take this opportunity to say Happy Easter or whatever, I wouldn't say that, or whatever, but,
Or the rare footage of Todd Shute here then on the podcast.
Yeah.
I like it. That's awesome.
So Troy's probably more the, you know, and we always joke, you know, hey, I'm Todd, Troy's brother. Because more people I feel like know him than know me. Yeah. So, or like know him, you know, more on a personal level. Like I don't feel like a lot of people know me. You know, they just know the guy that drives a race car, but they don't really know me. Yeah. So
I do appreciate Troy because it's not very often, but anytime there's any new sprint car news, I'm getting a Snapchat from Troy. And I know when I get a Snapchat from Troy Shute, it's got to be some sort of sprint car late model news that he's up on right away. Right. And so I'll see that pop up, and I'm like, oh, something good's coming. Right.
Troy it's crazy how well connected he is throughout. You know, he knows stuff long before it comes out, you know, or comes to fruition. And it's like, wow, how do you know that? Well, this person snapped me, or I snapped this guy, or this whatever. You know, it's pretty wild. So,
how much older is Troy? Because you're the youngest, right?
Yeah, he's 2 years older than I am. So,
what year did you graduate high school?
96.
The best year, buddy.
Yeah.
So you, me, and J Van.
I think Jimmy's in there somewhere.
Wouldn't that be something?
Jimmy and I actually went to school. We didn't know each other, but I know he went to Lincoln when I was there.
Really?
At some point or
Jim
another.
Gustin?
Yeah.
I'll be damned.
Oh, you got anything?
His mom lives on the south side, or she did for a long time.
Okay.
So
yeah, yep.
That's awesome.
Man,
well, we're 06 though.
Yeah, we're 06s. I mean, did you ever see him fight or do any of that crazy shit back then?
He did some interesting things in the grandstands at Des Moines, but you know, I don't. My long-term memory is not very good. So Troy, that's why I have Troy. But he can tell you. Well, in 2006 on lap 14 at Boone Speedway, you got passed by Kel Sponsler because you were running the bottom like a pussy. You know.
I love changing classes. You know, I'm able to watch the modified race. You know. A lot of the time, and to see how passionate Troy is and how passionate you are, to me, is awesome because you guys are old school. You know, and I don't mean that in a bad way, but you guys are old.
We are old, and you know we get reminded of it quite often.
I mean, I'm just saying. So it's like that, but that was my time of watching racers come from what. And the other thing is I can't think of anything else that says more of IMCA working men than what comes out of Todd Shute Racing. Mm-hmm. You just heard him, folks. You know, 50 plus hours a week. They both work.
Not on the race car.
No, work. Right. They, you know, we know you got some. Been married to Nikki for a long time. We love how she's put up with your racing craziness. You got a daughter and a son. Is there some interest? Is the boy gonna maybe pick up the wheel at some point, or is it just kind of a Todd and Troy thing?
It'll be a Todd and Troy thing. The kids would go when they were younger. I think that's because that's the only option they had was to go. So, but no, they're not interested in it, and that's fine. It was hard for me to accept for a long time, but you know, everybody's their own person, and they have different interests, and I fully support what they're interested in, and you know, it's different than what I'm used to.
Yeah.
But it's cool, you know, because it opens your eyes to different things. But no, it's Nikki is a saint, to say the least. She has endured a lot, you know, it
is a lot.
It's her strength as far as, you know, just being my partner is unwavering, and we've I just can't believe that she's held on this long. So and she doesn't go anymore. She never missed a race for like a lot of years, and you know, it's a 6 or 7 hour commitment out of your day to come to the races, and she, she's past that point in her life, I guess. So I'd like it for her to come, and I like for the kids to come, and they do come maybe once or twice a year, and usually it's to a pretty big race. And luckily we've had them at the Ron Little Memorial, and they've witnessed Dad win that, and that was really cool. And the kids are funny. They'll be like, "Dad, some kid at your school is wearing your T-shirt," and I'm like, "What did you say? That's my dad?" And they're like, "No, why would I say that?" Right. I'm like, well, I mean, back when I was in school, if my dad raced, I'd be wearing my T-shirt all the time, his T-shirt all the time. That'd be as the kids say today, that'd be a pretty big flex.
Look at Todd Shute. I'm talking to Jimmy. You guys got.
I know all the lingo.
Yeah, it's great.
But that connection, though, Todd, Jimmy, Richie, when he comes out, those guys, you guys are all, you raced against the previous generation, and it's like that connection.
That's what I'm saying.
It's
that's
awesome.
Kind of where I was going with that is like you guys raced when it was savage shit, and but it's transitioned into this new time of racing, and so back to the whole IMCA. This is a weekly man's thing. It's so cool that you and Troy have had that success over the years, and the dedication, and all of the race wives out there are savage that do it because it is so, like we have this envision or whatever we think we're doing, and so for somebody to stick with you that long, is a pretty outstanding thing for what we do. So
and I remember one of my good friends said, you're marrying, before we got married, and he's like, you know what you're getting into, right? And she's like, what do you mean? He goes, he's not gonna stop. And she's like, I think I know that, but
25 years later.
Yeah. So,
and obviously it's worked out, and she did accept it, because we see a lot of them that they don't accept it and they don't work out.
And it's funny. I would circle back to some of these, old school racers. Like, I don't know if most of the people listening to this would even know who Kelly Bone is, but I've actually raced against him. Outstanding racer.
Because he went on to late models, right?
He did, and was very good in the late model. Yeah. So,
and you spent some time in the late model.
I did race for, more famously, Bill Moyer, his dad, Bill Sr., which is Carl's brother, Carl Moyer of Carl Chevrolet. Raced for him for a couple seasons. You guys mentioned Jake Murray. He was in a car. We were teammates for a short time. Then I raced for some of the most wonderful people I've ever met in my life, Eddie and Sandy Young, down in Missouri. For a few years, more than a few years, and just a chance deal. I met him at my cousin's wedding, and we got to talking about racing. Next thing you know, I show up to Lucas Oil Speedway and jump in a Longhorn by Weaver, and I was like, wow, I was kind of expecting to see an old Swartz or a Laser sitting here, and this is a brand new car, And I think Troy was pumped. I had no idea what we were getting into, and Vinny Gugliani was kind of our tech guy. This is before he was as well known as he is now. So we've had a lot
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I mean, guys, if you don't know who Vinny Giuliani is in the late model world,
right,
you don't watch late model shit.
Right.
Vinny is a cool dude.
Yeah. I've had some beers with Vinny.
This guy, this guy, Todd here's worked with Vinny, and just kind of another reason why we had Todd Shute on this podcast, people. Awesome stuff.
Yep. I do want to say, so the new rules came out. We don't need to dive deep into them. I don't know what you've looked into them, like on the droop stuff, and it probably won't affect you guys too super big, but I did want to ask how disappointed Troy was that the left front wheel cover wasn't in there.
He's kind of let that dog lie a little bit, But, the droop thing, I think, makes sense. Jonathan, I think, mentioned in the last podcast that when you pull into that pit area, when you pull into the tech area how you pull into that tech area dictates where your deck height's going to be. And, if you turn the wheel to the left or right or what have you, racers know which way you need to turn it. I don't need to explain that, but it can be an inch high or an inch low or half inch, whatever it might be. So I do like that. I think it'll take a little bit more time. It may be a little bit more difficult for a tech guy. But the brake floater thing doesn't make sense to me. I've had them for, 20 years. I don't know why now we don't need them, but they have a reason. I'm not sure what it is. I haven't talked to Dave about it. I try not to bother him unless I really need to. So,
Sure.
But I have a feeling some people maybe have gotten in their ear. Technology on the brake floater has changed a little bit, I guess, and maybe that's why they just wanted to get rid of it. I don't know.
So when you started racing a modified, no brake floater?
No brake floater. I think the first time we ran one was probably in 2009. But they were out there. They were prevalent, long before that. We had it on and off for a long time, and then ran it 100 different ways like everybody has, and just kind of settled with what we've been doing the last probably 3 years. And I think that maybe the way we've been doing it the last 3 years is why they don't want to do it that way anymore. I don't know. So, but that didn't make a whole lot of sense to me, but like I said, they have their reasons.
Sure.
So,
and then by the time this comes out, it's going to be Dome Week, St. Louis. I know you've ran that. How cool is that when you pull out onto that track and look around? I mean, do you even get time? Can you look around? I mean, what's that like?
They do obviously the driver intros is a big deal down there. That was one of those ones I'll never forget. The first time we ran down there, I felt like I should have won it.
No kidding.
So, and I was very, very, very upset that I didn't, because I got wrecked out, as most people do there. And I still mad about it. So,
Talk about a cool trophy.
Yeah. And it was as Western as it gets, as it usually is. They've had years where it's been really slick and boring. I think the Western produces a better race for that particular place. Otherwise, it's just, you might as well go to a go-kart race and run around the bottom. But it is, and obviously it's gotten bigger. I went to like maybe the first 3, and I haven't been back. Yeah, first 3.
We're trying to get them to change the date off of the Iowa deer hunt opening season.
Yeah.
I've reached out to the Facebook page. I have messaged it several times. I would appreciate it if you dicks would answer. Apparently that's like a thing, to send emails and not get responses.
That doesn't happen at the Boone Speedway, just so you know. You send an email, you'll get a response.
No, going back.
Josh is very robotic.
I was just going to say, no. I've never emailed the racetrack. I've always called.
Well,
the wrong
wrong
frickin' number.
number.
That was that too. But
it is cool. It's a very cool event. Like I haven't missed one. We went the first year. It was kind of a fluke. I saw it come out, and I just got a hotel room. I'm like, Angie, kind of forced my wife. Sorry, Ange, to go. She didn't think she'd have fun. She loves it. We have a great time. We went down as a group with the Carl. It was Carl Performance at the time, and Mark Elliott and Clint Quisenberry and Taylor Musselman. He actually drove my car onto the track for driver intros, and he said that's something he'll never forget. So we were just surrounded by a bunch of good people, a bunch of good friends, and we had a great time the whole week. And then, like I say, we were really good. I felt like in the race, and came from the back up to the top 2 or 3, and then got turned around and then came from the back. I don't even know.
Oh, I figured you'd
some
remember
UMP
that.
guy.
Troy would know.
Troy will know. Yeah, Troy will know.
Yep.
How many deck panels did you go through? Because
we went through 7 pull bar bolts. This is back when we ran the all thread.
Oh.
Hardened all thread. I know Scotty Davis was getting tired of changing them. But we pretty much had the whole victory crew down there, and we had a great big state set up for our parts and stuff, because we were the parts vendor. So which was, I kind of got that privilege. I was the only modified guy in late model row. because I came in with the show car, and then my car was in Carl's stacker trailer, and so it was like us, then Billy Moyer and Billy Jr., and then across the way was Bloomquist. And if you guys never been around Bloomquist, it's a show every time you see the guy, and just how he unloads the car is a production, and how he comes out of the hauler is a production. So we got a lot of fond memories of that, but mostly it was just a good time. And like I say, I can get Western there, and I still apologize to Jesse Hoskins, who let me drive his car the last time I went down there, because I put a number on it like a few times, and it was so rough that year. We broke a right front shock, and it rung my bell pretty hard. I hit the holes and bounced off the seat way too many times. I didn't know which end of the track I was on, so kind of had to roll back and like figure stuff out. And so, but it's a great time, and I don't know that I would take my own equipment down there, but I would drive somebody else's.
Okay. Well, we just probably my favorite thing down there is when they do the opening ceremonies and they sing the.
Are you going this year?
Oh yeah.
You are going?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Okay, well, I just got a message from Babe Taylor. Sorry to interrupt, but I have got to get you the Clash on the Coast banner that I lost. Well, I shipped wrong, came back. I lost it. I told Peyton I was going to take it to Eldora.
Didn't get her there.
Thought my kid threw it away. Got home from Eldora. Found it. Still haven't shipped it.
Well,
I need to send it with you.
Next week.
Next week.
Next week, I'll grab it from you up here. But yes, we are going. We started a few years ago. We get a suite. There's a whole bunch of us that go together and get a suite, and it's so nice.
The suites are sweet.
They are very sweet.
They are cool.
Yeah.
So Hoskins had a suite with Randy Timms, which is Ryan Timms' dad.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you know, Ryan Timms won the Knoxville Nationals this year.
Yeah.
So we go and we hang out in the suite, and there's food everywhere. Well, they said help yourself to whatever before we went up to the suite. Well, this was not Hoskins' food. It was Tim's food. So we're sitting there eating his food, and I'm like, we didn't figure that out till afterwards. But that was pretty cool that we got to, share a suite with a future Knoxville Nationals winner. So.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Pretty awesome.
That is pretty awesome. What's our question going to be for next week? Do you know?
You'll have to text me some ideas.
We'll come up with something.
We're still on the brain capacity.
We'll get her posted.
Yeah.
I will say recording this on Wednesday is a good idea. So we can drop it on Tuesday. We get more ideas and more information.
Yeah, we'll try to put it out. Hopefully we can put a new one out by Friday and then get her going.
Cool.
But other than that, hey Todd, thank you. We do appreciate you coming up to do this. I know we're just a few knuckleheads over here just talking about race cars. So glad you came up to do this with us.
Oh, appreciate it. I was, a little wondering how it would go, and the time seemed to go way faster than I'm watching this shot clock over here, thinking, I got to get the 3 off before the buzzer. But it went very fast, and I felt like we could probably talk for another couple hours and still not cover everything.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
And I don't get to do the Victory Lane interviews, but I got to do this. Do you got anybody you want to thank? Anybody you want to?
Yeah.
Oh, I got a host of people I could thank, and just everybody throughout the years that supported me in one way, shape, or form. It just really, I always make fun of driver interviews because you got to say, put on a show. Can't thank everybody enough, and thank all you fans. So that's the top 3. That's like the hit list for
Yeah.
So
most people say can't thank everybody.
Yeah.
They forget to add enough.
Right. And I stumble over my words, something terrible, but they always forget, can't thank everybody. What do you can't, or?
You can't. Yeah, you can or you don't want to.
Yeah. Like, you just gave me 10 grand, huh?
Yeah.
I'm not thanking you.
Well, it's been a pleasure watching you race all these years. I hope we get to do it for just as many as we have from here on out. So
as many as Nikki can put up with.
That's right. That's right.
Kids get out of school, it might be more. I don't know.
Yeah,
So.
there you go. Yeah, empty nester.
Yeah. Well, but seriously, you've been a good friend to all of us, and we all appreciate that. We like watching you race, and good luck down the road and just do this thing for a long time.
Yeah, I appreciate it, you guys. I mean, it's crazy when you look back and think of how long we've all known each other, and obviously been a wild ride, and we're all glad we're still sitting here and being able to talk about it.
You bet.
Well, that's Todd Shute, and that's another one in the books. I can't believe they let us keep going. We've gotten 10 in so far, but want to thank Weir's Machine, Central Iowa Diesel Performance, Elmquist Towing, our great supporters that help us continue sitting here so that we can sit here and bullshit, basically. So, but
one more week, Jer. Another week, Jer. Just wanted to throw that out there before we close out here.
We love you, Jerry.
Yeah, we do. We really do.
On that note, you guys have been watching Watermelons and Wood Chips presented by Central Iowa Diesel Performance. We will see you again next week.